What?
Am I handsome?
What?
I'm handsome.
Huh?
I'm handsome.
What?
Am I handsome?
What?
I'm handsome.
Huh?
I'm handsome.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, now I'm on.
I was just going to ask you, so when's our 10K month? And then you just presented it.
I cannot believe that just happened. Like my brain is like, what? What? Ah! I can't even. I was looking at those numbers from October and my P&L, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. I had a really busy month, and they were high paying gigs. I was like, that can't be right. So I went back and I just added up from my calendar. So I need to go back into QuickBooks and like one of them just paid me yesterday, so I actually didn't get paid until after, but whatever, that's not like somehow or another, just that's not lining up. But I had over $10,000 worth of gigs in October. From October 1st to October 31st, I made over $10,000.
I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you.
Never happened before, not even close. Okay.
Oh, congrats. That's awesome.
Holy cow.
Isn't that the best feeling? Like you hit a mile, you hit another level. That's awesome. Awesome.
Yes, it is amazing. I am so lucky. And one of those weekends, like we had our fall party, which was a Saturday night. Normally, you know, that's a big deal. I'd lose out a lot of money on that. But I still broke 10. That's crazy.
Congrats.
I just booked, well, the contract is not signed yet, but she agreed to everything and she just wanted me to send it over today. It's for New Year's Eve and it's a $2,000 gig in Atlanta, which is awesome. I've got a lot of other big stuff coming up, but I still have a lot of dates free in the next couple of months, which is very like,
okay.
You know, so it's not like everything's like gonna stay like this, you know. but it's definitely exciting.
But you have momentum. You have like now the confidence to step forward. Like I did it, so now I can do it again. I can do it.
And the number of phone calls I've had in the last like week, partially because of that big gig I did in Richmond the week before. So playing with these Indian drummers that have a huge following on social media, I'm getting lots of calls from the one in New Jersey and the one in Atlanta because they see me on their Instagram and they're like, I want you at my event, and so that's like really powerful marketing, which I have no control over. They're the ones who take the video and post it. I mean, I'll send them the video that I got, but they have to post it to their clients, and then their clients are like all over it.
Okay. So follow them and look at who they are following and who's following them and get in their network.
Oh yeah, that's what Nita is doing. I'm telling you, Nita is like, she's signed me up for like every group on Facebook that has anything to do with business, events, Indian community. And she's posting every time I send her content multiple times a week. She's posting not only to get out of there, Ranger, not only to my social media, but to those groups.
Okay.
So like she's sharing the content to the groups. And to, she follows up within minutes when somebody comments, asks a question, sends me a message, likes, she's like on top of it. So I have to hardly do anything. It's really nice.
Okay. I just want to make sure that also like.
No, she's like every 5 minutes I get another notification. So-and-so has accepted your follow request because she's following everybody. And like every time she sees somebody come in who's like connected to that community, she goes and she follows all the people that they've followed that we haven't like, she's like, she's like way more than I ever could, but yes, she's doing exactly what you just said. I've been watching it come in.
Okay. Yeah. What are we talking about? Let's do it.
She also got me, this is another huge, like, whoa, like my mind was blown this past weekend. If you search on Google for best violinist in DC, best violinist in Texas, best violinist in San Antonio, event violinist, Bollywood violinist, there's a list of about 25 different things. If you search for that, I show up on the first page of Google. The first page. And all she did was go in and tweak a little bit of SEO,
there you
technical stuff. And all she did was the main page. She hasn't even gone in and like done the deep dive because she was very hesitant about whether Wix would work or not. She was like, I don't know. I've heard things about Wix not playing nice with Google. And when she saw that, she was like, whoa, like I barely even like did anything. And you're already on the first page. So she said, we're going to take this off the charts. That was just within the last week. There's a list of about 25 different search terms or, phrases that I show up on the first page.
I see you. Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Which is awesome.
Oh my gosh. Good job. So good.
All I did was find her. Seriously, I pay her $250 a week and she just makes magic happen.
Well done. Good. Okay. So how can I help you? What do you want today?
Accountability. An hour ago, I said I was going to write a newsletter and I haven't written my newsletter because I've been so busy, but I mean, that's still not an excuse. So accountability actually works because I was literally like on my computer, like I can get this sent before I talk to her. I didn't quite get it done, but it's almost done. I will send it today. I promise.
No, I'm good. And then, okay, good. Okay. I'm looking at stuff here. Okay. Yes. Newsletter. I was like, I look forward to getting your newsletter. So I was like, oh, where is that?
No, I haven't sent it yet. Still trying to figure out what to say. I have not sent one since April. I just looked back.
Yeah.
I haven't sent one since April. So now I'm like, oh, I don't even know where to begin. But
start with that. I don't even know where to begin. It has been so much fun, blah, blah, blah. These, and so many gigs, but these are my two favorite, and post the two favorites or the one favorite.
Yeah,
And
I've got a couple because it's been a while, but then
right.
after that, I think I still don't know if I should send an email once a month. I don't know if people want to hear from me that often. I'm still about that, maybe every other month. But anyway, I've got a couple of features and then a request for reviews. I've been doing really good about following up on those and asking for them. I don't always get them, even when they are
No.
like, my biggest fan. Sometimes they just get busy and forget. So I give them a few days and then follow up again. But trying to get back on that bandwagon to get those reviews. Keep those coming. Nita's making those featured also on my social media from time to time, which is another thing you encourage me to do. So yes, newsletter, blog. I think I wrote one blog maybe since we talked. I can't remember.
That's fine. That was a month ago. One a month is fine with a blog because that's continually updating your SEO there too. But
Right.
what about what is the mindset with even one newsletter a month? Why are you hesitant to that?
I feel like I tend to tune people out when I hear from them too often. And then I'm a purger. Like I'm one of those people, if I see it and I have to delete it and I don't actually read it. If I've done that like 3 times in a row, I'm like unsubscribe because I don't like getting clutter in my inbox. So I guess I'm just thinking of myself, and maybe that's not everybody, but I'm such a, I don't want people to like not, I'd rather them hear from me once every 3 months than not at all because I'm annoying them.
Okay, but that's on them. Okay, so
right, but at the same time, that's a person who could potentially refer somebody to me in 2 years when they are like, oh yeah, Celeste, I still get her stuff every 3 months, and
I don't think anybody's thinking about the how many times. Nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, but I would encourage you highly to do at least once a month. Just, it's the top of mind, and it's not that much, Celeste. It's not like you're doing 3 times a week. I get emails from people so much, and
delete them. I unsubscribe very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time for this.
But that's okay. Then they're not your people. Okay. But anybody who wants to be there, I just want you to be, if it's a struggle, I don't want to, I don't want to force it, but at the same time, I really like once a month is not that much, Celeste. And you can just duplicate it from your blog. You'll get more eyes on your blog, or you could keep it really simple. And you could just be.
Yeah, it's not the time involved. I mean, that's easy. It's like I've got a billion pictures to choose from, highlight an event, say something. That is the other thing. Like I'm struggling with is what else to put in there. Like, I know one of the things is like frequently asked questions, but I don't have a lot of those. I'm really struggling to come up with like, what do people not know about me that they wish they knew?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know we talked about this last time. It's very helpful to remember that most of these people are not going to see my social media posts. Mm-hmm. But that's all I really share is like highlights of events that I do. So, I mean, I could do one email a month and share, hey, there's 3 events. Boom, there you go.
That's all I want you to do. That's all that it gets them to click on an Instagram post or click on something there.
A YouTube video or whatever.
Or a video or just one video. I just want you to be top of mind, and you do everything, you do it so well. And it could just be a picture. If you want more, click here and it takes them to the social media post.
Yeah.
That's okay. So, all right. That's my encouragement is to do one a month. So duplicate it from your blog. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
But the blog is more if you have to choose between blog or newsletter, blog is more important for SEO.
Okay, right. And I guess my blog could be the same thing as my Instagram posts. I just feel like I'm repetitive, but
that's the point.
Right, I know. I got to get that through my head. Keep yelling at me. Keep yelling at me.
Oh, but I love it. I love it. I struggle with it too. Like, oh, what do I say? No, you say the same things over and over so that people get it, because we need to be told over and over because we're bombarded.
I know.
It's the circle of the same message over and over in a different way. Okay. Where do you want to be in 6 months? 6 months from now?
I know. I just saw that when I was prepping for this and I was like, oh, I haven't talked about it. I want to be saving money.
Why are you not saving money now?
Because I've never made enough to like pay my bills.
Okay.
Joe has to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I'm doing really well, it's like, then I go and I buy a new piece of equipment. Or I'm not saying like it's out of control, but like I do have certain things that I have to get done, or my violin breaks and I have to get it repaired, or I've got my bows re-haired every once in a while. My strings are $60 a piece, like those are things that I put off like forever and ever and ever. And then when I finally like have a good month, then I do all the things that I legit have to do. I'm not spending money on stupid shit, but it's just, there's never extra. And I know part of that is a mindset and part of it is just like being responsible, but part of it is also like I have legit business expenses and the things that I can only put off for so long. And so anyway, that's my goal.
Okay. So what would it feel like to put like
$1,000 a month?
Okay. But I wouldn't even say that. I would say a percentage. So I would say a percentage. So that's 10% of a 10K. Okay. Yeah. So if you made a $3,000 month, could you save $300 of that? No. So could you do then 5? So what I did, so this is based on profit first. So he doesn't say amounts. It's so good. So he does percentages. So that way you can be consistent. So I have my 10K, I have my bucket. And then you have your goal of what you want to, 50% expenses, and then, whatever. So you have your tax bucket, and every month I put about 10% into taxes. And then I started 1% pay me, 1% save. Then in February, I did 2% pay me, 2% save. Yeah. Taxes were always 10% because that has to happen. But my operating expenses were getting so crazy. I just was like, I got to figure out how to lean it in, and I had to do it super gradually like that. So then I started that in January. So then by October here, I'm at 10% saving, 10% pay me. And when I say saving, that goes into profit. Okay. So I'm 10% profit bucket, 10% pay me. Yeah. And then 10% taxes. So now my operating expenses are 70% of the business. And then with the profit bucket, I get to empty that by 50% every quarter. Okay. So I save, and then at the end of December, I will get to take out 50% as profit sharing. And that comes back to owner pay. Now I can choose then to put that profit and bring it back into the business and buy a laptop for the business, or for your case, buy a new violin, but it comes quarterly. So that way I know it's coming. It's kind of like a bonus. All right. And then, or I can say, nope, that's coming into my pocket as a person, and I'm going to go do something nice for my family and do a vacation or something. The other thing, I just lost my train of thought. Totally lost it. Sorry.
I just bought the book.
Okay. And the book is, are you listening or reading?
I'm going to read because I think it'll be better for a book like this.
He does a really good, it's the front ending, like he really does a great job of giving you everything in the front half of the book. So you don't necessarily have to finish the book, because he does it all in the front, because he knows most people don't finish books. So he wanted everything. He's super smart. He wanted to get everything out to you right away. So that way you can just apply it. And I would highly recommend taking baby steps and do a percentage. You know, if 3% sounds safe, like if your worst month, what is your worst month in the last 12 months or even the last 6 months? Is it like a 3K month? Okay.
Right.
So what could you safely save? Is it 2%? You know, so what is it? And then do that and then slowly start to build of what you would like. And he walks you through that. He kind of talks about how that's where it is, taxes. Okay. I'm going to skip to what I forgot. Then the tax bucket, you know, I'm saving 10% for taxes. And if I don't owe all that in taxes, that comes back to me as a bonus as well, because I've already saved it. Okay. So yeah, he walks you through that and kind of gives you a good guide of what an average, not average, but you know, your different type of business, you know, you don't have the overhead. Like I have overhead, my operation expenses are going to be way more than yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But highly recommend it. And I read it every year just to get re-energized.
So mine is partially like legit, you know, I haven't had money coming in. And part of it I know comes from a loss and a lack mentality that I just grew up with. And I've read so many books and done so many meditations and so many things to like try to overcome that, but it's still there. And of course, the fact that I've been struggling so much for the last 2 years has continually reinforced that. And so I'm even coming into this place now where I'm like, I can breathe. There's still this like, but what's going to happen next month? You know, like that is still like, I'm aware of it. I know what's happening and I know it's gonna keep getting better, but it's still like so scary to like, I want to go spend it all right now because I don't know if I'm going to have it next month. Like there's a very, I know that's backwards because it should be like, I'm going to save it all. But I have always lived paycheck to paycheck. Yep. Always have. And so there's always just like, I'm having a good month. Woohoo, I get to do fun stuff. Next month, I might be eating ramen, but that's okay. You know,
I totally get it, Celeste. And as a performer, absolutely. Living that lifestyle. And the thing is, we're resourceful. We figure it out. We're yes. Like, fine, I'll eat ramen.
Yeah.
So, which is good because we do have that mindfulness of like, we'll figure it out, you know, we'll do it. But, yeah, to be able to save and have that cushion is just another level of like, I got my shit together, you know?
Yeah. So what happens when you have like say next month I only make 3,000. I don't think that's going to happen. It might be 4. I don't know. It just depends on if some of these Saturdays book up. I've got like 8 people bidding on it, but nobody's like booking. And it's weird for November and December, both. It's bizarre. I feel like I've worked all year on these 2 months and there's still like all these empty dates because people just aren't booking. It's bizarre. Anyway, the point is, like, let's say I have a bad month and I say I'm going to do just 1% or 2% or whatever. And then I end up making $12,000 in December. With that extra, I'm sure I'll get this when I read the book, but like, do you then put more into savings because you have that, or what's the plan? Because my income is so fluctuating still.
And that's where I come back to a percentage. Like I would just, you could do your percentage and then go, he'll give you some guidance. But like, you'll need to look at your operating expenses. Like what are they monthly? Okay. So let's say they're 2K a month or 3K a month. And then let's say you make 12. Okay. Well, I would definitely say like, kind of have like, okay, 5% is my pay. Like you have to pay yourself. Like if you had to be replaced, what is the going rate average? Okay. You can't overpay yourself. Okay. You have to pay what you would get. So make sure you're paying yourself. And then from there, you'll do a percentage into profits. And then you have your percentage into taxes. And then anything left over is savings. Like use it as savings, an additional savings for your business. Okay. It's always good to have 3 to 6 month savings, and then profits is just the extra. Okay. So that's a beautiful space to be in. Okay. So I would, make sure you're paying yourself, because if you had to replace yourself, what would that be? As far as the performing spot, not as the owner, that's where profits is the business owner payment. Okay. This is you, Celeste, working the gig. If you had to hire somebody to work the gig for you, what would that be? So you
Yeah.
need to pay yourself that. If you did 8 gigs and you're paying 200, I'm just easy math,
Yeah.
$100. Okay. So then you need to pay yourself $800. Okay. So that's a flat fee. Okay. Owner pay. And then profits and taxes usually is the percentage part. Okay. I just choose to do a percentage because my numbers vary so much month to month as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for owner pay, I do a percentage. I do not do 1,200 a month for me to get paid because sometimes I can't do that.
Right. Right. Okay.
So if it's a low month, I just get paid peanuts and feel like a monkey. I heard that too. Heard that quote this week and I was like, you pay for peanut, you pay people peanuts, they act like monkeys. I was like, huh, I like that.
Okay.
That will help you a lot and it'll get you excited. And it'll help you free the mindset a little bit too. But he's so funny. He's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so then in 6 months from now, you would have a savings that would feel really good, I would think.
I feel really good. So Joe and I want to, build a house in a year and a half, 2 years, once we get to Texas. And he's been kind of hinting at me like, it'd be really nice if you could contribute $1,000 a month toward that because building a new home, there's like construction loans and those apparently are more expensive than traditional home loans. I don't really know all that's involved, but right now we're relying completely on his income. And I just like, I'm neutral. Like,
I get it. Yeah.
so that's why having that savings, both for my business, but also for us to actually contribute after, gosh, we've been together almost 6 years, to actually contribute to our household income would be massively huge.
And I get it. I so get it. And to be able to, even if it's just $500 right now or $300, just say, this is for us. And it's an empowering thing. So I will definitely read that book. It's a great, he's funny and it'll give you starting points. And that the percentage is really helpful versus saying $2,000 every month I'm going to contribute. Because that's stressful because we just don't know,
Right.
who's going. So
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I want you to do is read that and you're going to get your newsletter out. You're going to go think about doing a newsletter monthly. Okay. Because that's on them to delete. It's on them to, you still come up in the inbox. You still come up in the inbox. And just because you delete people doesn't mean everybody does it. Okay.
I'm more interesting than the average person, right?
You really are though. You really are. And I'm so happy about your VA. I'm so happy that was a fit. Celeste, that doesn't always work out that way. So you picked a gem and I'm so happy for you.
Seriously, like I just feel like God said, here you go. Like I have no idea what good thing I did to deserve that karma, but I am just embracing it wholeheartedly because she's an angel sent from God. Like no joke.
So good to know. So good to know. Yeah.
I've already referred her to several other people who have small businesses, and I know I gave you her information as well. And so far, I don't know if any of those have panned out, but she's like, bring it on. Yeah. I mean, she sits at her computer 12 to 16 hours a day, already doing stuff. So she's like, what's one more person? Wow. But I mean, I would love to be able to, have her redesign my website and, pay her more than 10 hours a week, because there's so much that she can do. Her skill set is just so broad. But anyway, I am very lucky I found her. I'm thinking about, so my friend, okay, here's what we can chat about very briefly. My friend Rebecca has just turned down a full-time job because she's been basically like contract employed for a while. And she's wanting to make a living she's got really 3 things. She wants to do she's a realtor. She just got a real estate license renewed this year. So she now has a desk at Century One, and she's like really like, I'm gonna make this a real job. She does pet transport all over the country, which is really cool. She's very, very good with pets. She fosters pets. She loves road tripping. So pet transport is really something she's very good at and makes good money doing when she gets a gig. And then she sells wine for like one of those companies that does like, natural organic wine. But now she wants to do all this full time and not have a real job. And she's kind of starting from scratch. So she was like, how much do you charge for your coaching that you want to start doing? And I was like, well, first of all, those are not areas that I know well, but I mean, I've learned some things that would apply, obviously. But I'm kind of like not sure where to even start with somebody like that. Like, should I find people like that I can coach for free to just kind of help build, my portfolio, if you will, so, and have them write reviews for me and stuff? Because I mean, she totally would. She's one of my best friends. And I mean,
That's what I did. I just got together with people and people said, Melissa, can I pick your brain? And I just used that as an opportunity to learn what I did like and what I didn't like. And it doesn't matter what business is business. So you can help her with some things and you'll learn what you don't have. Well, like, shoot, I don't know a lot about that. I really am interested in that. You'll find out what you like. You find out all those things. So definitely I would and that's how I got a lot of my reviews in the beginning. That's how a lot of people get the reviews in the beginning, Celeste, is they're helping people out of the goodness of their heart to just learn and get better at what they want. So that way then they get those reviews. They get those stellar reviews. Yeah, definitely.
that is a legit way to go. It seems pretty no brainer, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because
absolutely.
a couple of
And
times.
if it's and if by chance she happens to like take your advice and like do really well, she may then want to pay you or hire you or whatever. But if as a friend, I did that for many friends in the dance studio world, like helping them out, like this is what I've learned or whatever. So
yeah. Okay, then I will do that. And then, should I, where should I share my 10K month for you? Like,
oh, baby girl, I just videoed you and your reaction.
I have no makeup on, sitting on my couch. Thanks.
You can share that however you want, but I am going to just like a little blurb or a little like 2-second clip. When my client finds out she just made over 10K the first time.
That's fine. You can do that. That's
So,
fine.
yeah. I'm just so happy for you because everything you're doing is top notch and you're doing the work and it's all you, girl. You're doing the work and the work is paying off. So well done.
Well, it's doing the work smarter and not harder necessarily that has, helped. It's also just the economy and the 3 years of sludging through till things could finally take off. So, but I mean, there are a lot of things, but, so is there like a certain place where you want me to write a review that would be a way to share that?
Yeah. If you haven't written a Google review, write a Google review.
I can't remember if I have or not, but I will do that right now.
Oh, I thought you did. You did one for the podcast, which is
I know I did one for the podcast,
yeah, but I'll send you the Google review one. And then, but that's it. The Google review is just, and then whatever you're always so generous. So thank you.
No, I know how much reviews make a difference. I feel like it would be weird to like brag about that on my social media. So I'm probably not going to put it on my page,
no,
but
I'll do it with mine. I'll do it in my stories and on mine, like just, and not even your picture, or like, I'll talk about it. Like,
sure.
And when I do webinars, I use you as an example for SEO, like, cause a lot of people will be like, cause digital marketing is what my specialty, I feel is. That's something I would love to ask you. I'm trying to figure out my one thing. So I'm talking to people about, 3 ways to market yourself personally, online and offline, because I work with brick and mortars, and brick and mortar businesses usually are really good about the offline stuff, but they just don't know how to bring in the online aspect, or they're not getting their SEO up. or they don't know, oh, shoot, a blog and a newsletter. And why do I do this? Why? And just trying to teach them that and trying to get them to incorporate it consistently without
Yeah.
feeling overwhelmed. And then they're like, oh, I should do social media. And I'm like, hold the phone. I want you to, in my opinion, bring back the social media and get the foundational stuff of the SEO,
Yeah.
the blog,
Right.
the email list, if you wish. Not all people need to do an email list, but I'm an advocate for it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then those are your platforms. So that way you can build then into your social media. But what would you say is what has helped you a lot here?
You know, no one thing has been more like stands out above the rest. I feel like I've had to rely so much on those paid ones because they've done all those things that we're talking about that I'm now trying to do on my own. But I am a firm believer in the whole, you don't own your contacts on social media. Those are owned by Facebook or they're owned by Instagram. And so, I saw your post about that and like, that's so true. And that's why I do know that email is really, really powerful. Maybe because I don't do it as often, but I tend to book more from emails. Like when I send one out, almost every time I book a gig, which is like, duh, why don't I do this every month?
Email has 122% return on investment.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. But I'm now learning the power of social media because of the way that it networks. It connects you to people who would never see you otherwise. I'm booking gigs in other parts of the country because they saw me at a thing with this person who they happen to know, whose friend follows them. And like, I had some guy like FaceTiming. I'm like, the social media is extremely powerful. And I've been doing it all these years without actually booking anything off of it. So it's exciting to actually see that paying off finally. Because I've always said it was just there as like a catalog for my clients when they wanted to say, hey, what does she do before I book her? I want to see what she's up to. They would look there, but I've never seen it as a primary, like this is a course to actually book gigs. So that's a first for me in the last few months. But the Google thing is super exciting because everybody Googles, everybody goes and says, it's just your first go-to, like violinist in DC. Like that's what we do as a generation or three, so I don't think there's any one thing for me. I think all of them are important, but I also don't necessarily think you have to do all of them. Like that can be overwhelming. I completely get it. So you have to kind of, I think I'm still so early in this game. For me, I've put all my time and energy into Gig Salad and the Bash because that's where I booked 75% of my gigs. Everything else was just kind of icing. So, I've always thought like if I spent as much time on Google as I do on those sites, would I book as much? Probably not at first, but over time, yes, probably.
Yeah.
So that may not be helpful.
Yes and no. I'm just trying to figure out like how to market myself better to get my ideal client. Like you are an ideal client, but you're not a brick and mortar either, but you're a person that's doing the work.
Right.
And, trying to figure out just like you, figuring out the messaging, getting it better, getting it more clear. So I'm getting more of the right people. Because right now I'm getting a lot of newbies, like fresh, first year in business. And I don't want those because they're not going to invest $300 to $500 a month in private coaching.
Yeah.
So, however, I shouldn't necessarily, my other amazing client, she was a first year business owner too. However, we did a trade. So I got services from her. So, but just trying to figure out that thing. So I started saying, for brick and mortar businesses who want to stay in business for the next 5 years and beyond.
I've heard that in some of your.
So just trying to be like, oh, okay. So, cause I want to know that you have a product or service that works. But now you want your time back. Now you want things more automated and systematized. maybe hiring.
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Gosh.
that's okay. That's okay.
I'm still like trying to figure it out myself. I'm like clueless, I feel like, even though it's been 6 months.
And but this is business coaching. So we were doing a little bit, I mean, I'm trying to get your visibility up, which it is with
Yeah.
everything. And then now we are starting to hire
Yep.
because you were able to bring up your revenue. So now you're able to hire, and now we're going to get more visibility and then more revenue. So
Mhm.
then what do we do with those extra funds? Do we hire more team, or do we get some more things automated? And you are pretty good with your systems, I feel like, but are there other things that we could automate so that you're not, or delegate? So do we hire somebody else to help with some other things to get off your plate so that you can just focus on more gigs? So that's the thing. Get more visibility to grow your income so that you can then automate and create more systems. Grow your
Yeah.
visibility so you can automate and create more systems.
Yeah. And create that cycle that builds on itself.
Yeah.
I definitely see the value. And I love that you have helped me in multiple areas, like kind of get the big picture and taken all of the advice that I've heard in a million different podcasts and books and stuff, and then pared it down to like, this is what you need to hear today. Like, that's what I need. I'm just like, tell me what to focus on. So, I mean, a lot of it is you just being a really good listener and being able to hone in on, okay, here's what you're missing or what you're overlooking or what you need to come back around to, because we were good at it for a while and then you kind of, let it go to the wayside. So I appreciate that about you a lot. And I know you'll find those ideal clients, right? I mean, you've only been doing this for a couple of years, and a lot of it was during COVID. So same as me, like it just, right?
Yeah, and brick and mortars weren't real apt on hiring people during COVID.
No, or investing in themselves or their business during COVID. They were just trying to stay afloat. Yeah.
What you just said was really helpful. So thank you. That was very helpful too. So awesome. Okay. I have another appointment. I am going to put my link for the Google review in there. You are going to read Profit First and email list and I'm
going to sign up for another one in 2 weeks. I keep forgetting and like it goes a month and yeah.
That's okay. And your newsletter once a month. And I'm super proud. Congrats. Enjoy a glass of wine or something. Okay, lady?
Thank you.
All right. Proud of you. Peace.
Bye.